Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm participating in the 1313 Mockingbird Lane, a vintage Halloween collaboration that is hosted by my good friends Monica from Up All Night DIY, Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling, and Annie from Crafting with Indie Annie Jones. For my first DIY, I'm taking this wooden round and I'm going to paint it with this plaster color. And I'm going to go ahead and do 2 coats of this. But I'm not going to be doing the edge, but I will be doing the front and the back. All right, now that's dry, I'm taking my Hippo Gray, and I'm also taking a piece of paper towel here that I have gotten damp with some water, and I'm just going to do some highlighting along the edge. And you know, this would make a really great moon too. They could put a moon face on. All right, the next thing I want to do is put my 31 on here, and I just created this on Canva, and I printed them out individually so I could have them a nice big size, and I'm just going to cut these out to use them as a template. All right, I have both of them cut out. I'm going to place them on here where I want, and I'm just going to trace around them with my pencil, and then I'm going to be ready to paint them. So I'm just going to be using black, and I'm taking a thin brush, and I'm just going to be painting this as slowly as possible. This is a little sped up. I want to make sure that I stay within the lines. All right, I have the 3 done, and now I'm going to work on the number 1. All right, now that it's all dry, I want to put some trim around here. So I have these pieces of tinsel that came off of some Halloween items from the Dollar Tree that I saved. And I'm just going to wrap these around each other because I want the orange and black together. Now, before I glue that on, I'm going to take some burnt orange here, and I'm just going to add a few highlights in here with the orange. I just thought it was too plain with just being black. All right, now that that is done and dry, I am going to go ahead and hot glue this just to the outer edge of my wooden round. And go ahead and get the last little bit of this glued on. And cut off that little piece right there, finish gluing it down. And I am just going to hot glue a little hanger to the back of this so I can hang it. Since this wood is so thin, it's kind of hard to try to attach one with little nails. I think this looks really cute, and this is super easy to do. All right, for my next DIY, I'm going to use this vintage looking cat that I got from Walmart last year, and I am going to repaint him with black. It's a matte color, so I am just going to do a couple coats here, I think, is all I need to do to cover all the color up, and I will be repainting this little guy. All right, now that he's all dry, I'm going to take the color Warm White, and I'm going to do all the little highlights in here that have all the little indentations. And I'm also going to go along all the legs here and just add some white lines just to outline everything. All right, now that that's done, I also did the top where he sits in white, and I'm not going to do anything down below where the checks were because I'm going to be doing something different with this cat. So now I'm going to go ahead and get started on the white parts of his face. All right, now that I have his teeth and his eyes done, I'm going to go ahead and start working on his little eyebrows. And you don't have to be really careful with something like this because all this stuff is, indentations. So I'm just doing it the cleanest that I can, and I will go back in with the black and touch up any spots that I need to. I'm going to work on the ears here. And I'm going to wait to do the whiskers. I need to do something with the cheeks first. Well, right here I'm taking the black in here and I'm fixing up all the little spots where I went outside of the indentations. The next thing I'm doing is taking the color Tangerine, and that is going to be his nose and his cheeks, but I'm going to go ahead and work on the hat first. So I'm going to do a few stripes with the Tangerine, and I'm probably going to have to do a few coats to cover up the black because this Tangerine is this paint here is a little bit runny for some reason. So it might even take me 3 coats to cover it up. All right, now that I have the hat done, I have the cheeks done and the nose, I'm going to take that warm white again and work on the smaller stripes of the hat. All right, now that that is done, I also did the whiskers and the little dots. I also took my black color and did his little teeth outlines, and I'm just doing a little highlight on top of his nose here. Now I want to work on the band and the buckle on the hat. I'm going to color the buckle with my silver sterling metallic paint. And I did go ahead and touched up a little bit of the band because I'm just going to leave that black. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is his eyes, which I'm painting lime green. And I really love this color for cat's eyes for Halloween. So I'm probably going to have to do a couple coats of the green just to make it look better because it isn't covering up that white perfectly right now. Go ahead and get the other eye done. All right, now that that's done, I did put some black on there. And I forgot to mention, I did paint his collar with a tangerine. And now I'm going to take the lime green and I'm going to paint every third little ball on his collar with the lime green. All right, I also did the top of his pom-pom in the green. I did the warm white on some of the little pom-poms on his collar, and the rest are black. So he is done, but he needs to sit on a pumpkin. So this is like my DIY number 3, but 2 and 3 are going to be the same thing. So I got to take the stem out first. I have this wooden plaque that is just a little bit smaller than the bottom base of the cat, so I will cut it out a little bit wider. Now I'm just taking my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut around, going just a little bit outside of my lines there. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to take my razor blade knife here and pop it up. go and get this all pulled off. All right, so I need the styrofoam to be down more. So instead of cutting this, because look at all these little balls, I hate it. I'm gonna take my heat gun, and this is gonna heat up the styrofoam and it's gonna shrink it down. See how it's going down? And it makes it really hard too. You won't have all those little balls flying all over the place. Now that that is done, I'm going to take my Crayola Model Magic and I'm making a face. I just drew one on here really quick. And I'm going to use a little bit of cornstarch here too, just so it doesn't stick to my placemat when I roll it out. So I'm going to start with the little cheeks. And I'm just going to push it on here, and I'm going to try to blend it into the pumpkin as good as I can get it. I'm also wetting my fingers here with a little bit of water. I want the cheeks to be a little bit puffy. All right, so I have my one cheek done here. And I'm just going to roll this out. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the eye here. I just want to do it this way. No, I don't think I like that. All right, let's try something different here. Let's just make it flat. And I'll just shape it to what I drew on there. Because I want this part to be white when I paint it. So I think I'll just do this and then I can paint on the eye color, whatever I decide to do. And try to blend in the eye area with the little cheek. Okay, just have to have a little bit of separation there. And I'm gonna go ahead and work on the other side. All right, so here's how he's looking. There's a little wet still. I've been having to use a lot of water. I wanna go ahead and work on the mouth area. So he's gonna have an oval shaped mouth. Just gonna stick that in there. I don't want to make it look like he's going, oh, because see, the cat's going to be sitting on top of him. He's not expecting the kitty cat on top of his head. All right, just kind of working this a little bit more. Just trying to blend it into the sides of the pumpkin. It's easier if you're blending it on clay versus this smooth pumpkin here. It's going to keep tweaking the mouth a little bit. All right, and the next thing I want to do is put just a little chinish looking thing here underneath the mouth. Just want to kind of build it up just a little bit here, so it'll be easier to attach it if I have a little bit of clay underneath the mouth. Okay, and here's my little chin that I've put on there. Next thing I need to do is the nose. So I'm just going to use kind of a triangle shape here. Form it down here first, and I'll just stick it in that spot. Again, I need to use a little bit of water, and I'm using my end of my paintbrush here to push it into the pumpkin area. Trying to get it more of a triangular shape here. All right, I'm going to let this dry for a couple days, and now that it's all dry, I'm going to use the color Tangerine and paint the whole pumpkin. And I'm probably going to have to use a couple coats of this, maybe even 3. Alrighty, now that that is done, I'm just taking some black paint with a wet piece of paper towel, and I'm going in all the ridges here, just to bring out the ridge details. I'm not doing a lot of shading or anything on here. I'm making it just a little more simple. Now I'm taking that warm white that I used on the cat, and I'm going to paint the eyes here. And the next thing I'm doing is painting the cheeks with tomato spice. And I'm also going to be adding some touches of tangerine into the cheeks. Okay, I'm just going to take my stencil brush and I'm going to tap, tap, tap on here. And the cheeks are still a little damp. And I'm also going to take some of the tomato spice and go back over it and just keep repeating that till I get the color that I want. And I'm going to paint the nose and the mouth black, just the inside of the mouth here. And I'm also just going to do black for the eyes. And we're going to have the eyes here at the top, and he's looking up to see what is on his head. All right, now that I got that done, I took my Sharpie here and I just outlined on the white. And I'm going to take the end of my paintbrush, dip it in the white, and make some little highlights on his eyes. And I also took some of that tomato spice and went around his mouth. Right, I think he is so adorable. I took both of these outside and I sprayed them with my matte spray. I have this cute ribbon here that looks like a little ruffle that I'm just going to hot glue underneath here, underneath his head. A little bit more hot glue there, tack it down. All right, I think that looks really cute on him. Now I want to do some more of that twisty stuff that I made for my 31 sign, and that is going to go at the bottom here of the cat. All right, the first thing I did was put some cardboard in here so I can glue the cat to the cardboard. It's lots of hot glue. And stick them on. And I also put a little bit of the black tinsel around his neck, and now I'm just going to hot glue this other tinsel on. And now he's going to coordinate with my 31 sign. I think this is so adorable. All right, let's check out what he looks like with the 31 sign. And I also added my vintage moon that I made last year. And if you're interested in that moon, I'll have the video link down below in my description box.
Black cats in the alley, they slink and they slide. Glowing eyes like lanterns, they got nothing to hide. Pumpkins on the porches with crooked grins wide. The moon's up there laughing, got nowhere to confide. Black cats and pumpkins, they own the night. Whiskers twitching, shadows flickering bright. Creep a little closer if you dare to fight. Black cats and pumpkins, their wicked delight. Spiders in the corner spinning webs so thin. Ghosts in the windows playing violins. The wind whispers secrets, it won't let you in. Midnight's a riddle, where do we begin? They say don't cross a black cat's path or you'll face a little witch's wrath.
All right, my sweet friends, that's going to do it for the video today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please be sure to check out the next video on the playlist. I have that link down below in my description box, along with all the host channel links. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.